Revenge of the Nerds is a movie that asks the question, what if terrorism was horny?
Yeah.
The world would be a better place. Like, what if on 9/11 they had just pushed the two towers together so that their tips touched? Hot. Is that Tower 2, or are you just happy to see me? Oh, and I hope you don't mind, Building 7 likes to watch. So it's the story of our two heroes, two classic nerds, Gilbert and Lewis. They've got the big glasses, the pocket protectors.
Yeah.
They laugh like Eddie Murphy. Yeah. They're going to college. They're worried about fitting in, but they're hopeful. They're sweet guys. But then at the football player fraternity, the popular guys, they're having a wild party. The hot cheerleader girls are there. And this guy's like, look at this trick I can do. He's shooting fireballs. Like he takes a swig of high-proof alcohol. He shoots a fireball. The drapes go up. They burn their frat house down.
Oh, fuck.
And then we see throughout the movie that the dean is a nerd, but then he's always with the football coach, played by John Goodman. And he's always bossing the dean around. So he convinces the dean, hey, my guys need a place to stay. Let's kick the freshmen out of their dorm. My guys get the freshman dorm. And instead of, I guess, sending them an email, because they didn't have those.
Okay, I was like, isn't this 1983?
They didn't have the technology. Okay. So how they do it is they just have the jocks run in and like throw them out the window. So then they make, kind of like refugees, they make all the freshmen live in the gym on cots. But they say, look, we're going to change the rule because of this special situation, and the freshmen can now join frats. Okay. So you have a place to stay. And everybody gets picked for a frat except for the 10 biggest losers. These are our heroes. This is our team. Lewis. Gilbert, right? There's an Asian guy. There's a black gay guy. Okay. It's a very diverse group. There's a 10-year-old.
Oh, wait, hold on. What's that?
He's like a genius.
Oh,
so he's 10. Okay. There's a guy named Booger. He's like a short, gross guy. Everyone else in the crew seems socially awkward. This guy just seems like he had a really bad breakup. Booger is just like depressed. And he picks his nose. And he wears T-shirts that say, like, blow me until you die, or whatever it says. So then this group who's not accepted, they clean up a house. There's a montage of them making this beat-up house nice, and then they live in this house. A rock comes through the window, and they look at the rock, and they're like, what's it say on it? And he says, it says, go home, nerds. Okay. So then the nerds go to the police, and they're like, we had a hate crime. And then the guy behind the counter, the cop, he goes, yeah, I don't know what this world's coming to. We just arrested that guy over there for mopery.
Mopery?
And they say, what's mopery? And he says, it's when you expose yourself to a blind person. And the cop's like, this isn't really our department. Go to the Greek council. There's a official council. This is a school thing. So they go to the Greek council. Who runs the council but the jocks? And the jocks are like, we don't care about what happened because, hey, we did it.
Right, yeah.
And also, you guys can't be a fraternity because you don't have a national sponsor, because they wanted to start their own fraternity for geeks. Okay. And then they apply to all the fraternities. Nobody wants them except for the one all-black fraternity because they didn't send a picture. The one guy is the principal from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. He's like, okay, I guess we'll give you a shot. Okay, so they're like, we need to throw a party to impress the black fraternity so we can gentrify it. So then they have a party, and there's this one cute, nerdy girl that Gilbert, the other guy, met in a computer class. And so they're kind of dating. They throw this party, and she's like, well, I can invite my sorority sisters, the Omega Moos.
Omega Moos!
And he's like, yeah, bring them over. And the Omega Moos, they're kind of nerds, and they're, I guess, a little big.
Okay.
I guess that's the joke.
They sound real big.
They're big ladies, but some of them seem very cool.
Okay.
So the party is going great, but then a bunch of actual pigs come into the room.
Actual pigs.
Look, that's the metaphor. I'm not saying it. The jocks are saying it. And then they run out, and the jocks are there on a big truck bed, and they're like, we sent pigs in because the girls at your party are pigs. And what's so funny is for the reaction shot, they don't show the girls that are being called pigs. They just show the guys going, yeah, they kind of are. And this is when the nerds are like, we need to do revenge. Revenge of the Nerds. Their revenge is they break into the hot girl sorority and they install cameras. And then later they're just sitting on the couch watching the girls without their knowledge be naked. And they're sitting on the couch going, we got them. And this would be a horrible thing to do in peacetime. But these nerds are at war. And this is the most humane possible act of war. As an act of war, this would be better if we behave this way. Like when Donald Trump was president, if he got on TV and he was like, Kim Jong-un, I saw his wife's tits. I saw him. Beautiful tits. And if he keeps acting up, I'm going back. I'm seeing Bush. We've got the spy planes. We've got the technology. So then they call up the head of the black fraternity, and they're like, "We looked at the girls naked," and then the head of the head of the black fraternity is like, "We like your style. You're in." Yeah. So now they're in. So they're having a dinner to celebrate that they got into a black fraternity, and then they look outside. The word "nerds" in flames on the front yard. Oh. And they're like, another hate crime against nerds. So then they go back to the council and they're like, yeah, it's still us. Mm-hmm. We're the government and we hate you. Yeah. And it comes up that if you win the homecoming talent show, you get to be the president of the college government. Oh. For some reason. Okay. They're like, you'll never beat us unless you win the talent show. All right. Okay. So they're like, hey, I think we should win the talent show. Oh, fuck. So now it's the talent show. It's a bunch of events, and then it ends with a talent show. At these Olympic-style events, we see that the things that made the nerds socially unacceptable actually help them in the various events. So then they have a little fair where the popular kids do a kissing booth and the nerds are selling pies and everyone's wearing costumes. And the one popular guy has a costume where you could tell they wanted it to be Darth Vader, but they couldn't get the rights. So it's Darth Vader-esque. It's a black helmet. And they're doing a kissing booth and the popular girl is like, all this kissing's making me horny. Oh, yeah. Right? So meet me in the fun house and we can have sex, popular guy. What? She goes off into the fun house and then the nerd puts on that guy's helmet. And he also happened to have a black cape on. Sure. So now she's leading what she thinks is her boyfriend with a mask on into the funhouse to have sex. Uh-oh. And people have a problem with this scene, but I think that really this is the most responsible part of the movie because they're giving us an important message about mask sex safety. Uh-huh. You know what I mean? And I think because a lot of women enjoy mask play. Okay. A lot of women out there can only get off if they're getting fucked by a guy wearing like a plastic Richard Nixon Halloween face. With S&M, you have safe words. Right. So I think with mask sex, you need to have security questions. This is what the movie's saying. I think this is a good idea, even if it's not mask sex. If you're just doing doggy style, as soon as you can't see the guy, just pepper him with some questions. Like, you can say, ooh, baby, do you like that? But then throw in, what's your mother's maiden name? You know what I mean? As soon as he takes the mask off, she's like surprised for a second, and then she's like, that's the best sex I've ever had. I'm in love with you. Oh. So now we get to the big talent show. It's a production. Lewis and Gilbert are dressed up like Devo. The Asian guy is dressed up like a Native American, and he's hitting a gong. Like, fucking figure that out. The gay black guy comes out dressed like Michael Jackson, and then the little kid comes out dressed like Michael Jackson. They tried to warn us, Jordan. They win, and then the movie ends with Gilbert gives a speech, and he's like, hey, the jocks want to ruin our lives. There's more of us than there are of them. We're all different. None of us fit in. We can't let the beautiful people push us around. He's like, until the persecution of the nerds stops, none of us are free. But if we free the nerds, we're all free. The dweebs. The fatzos, people in band. If we can accept each other, we can create a society based on love, you know? And eventually, one day, the world will be safe for guys who just want to show their dicks to blind people. When will the moperists have their day? It's a victimless crime, Jordan. The past was doing its best.
That's the theme song.
Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. They were doing their best.